The spring-like conditions may have you eager to get out in the garden and start planting, but what do you do when a majority of plants can't handle the fluctuating temperatures?
For some green thumb tips and tricks, we sent 7 to 4's Alyssa Heron to Plant Masters in Sutton's Bay to find out how to get a head start on gardening indoors. Good morning, Alyssa.
Good morning, Brennan and Melissa. I am here with manager Eric Van Thumb. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Beautiful day.
Oh, it is, and it's going to be kind of warm. I think 50s,
50,
close
60,
to the 60s.
yeah.
We'll see what Joe has to say later. But, you know, if people want to start getting ready to prepare their garden, how can they do that right now?
Well, you know, it's a little early, but you can get outside, find that old garden, get it cleaned up, get all those old tomato plants out of there, those old corn stalks, get all the old debris out of the garden, maybe get it rolled over. If you want, you can start some peas, maybe some broccoli, a couple of things that can go outside right now. Not a whole lot, but the best thing is to just be ready, because in northern Michigan, we don't know when the weather is going to change. So when you get the garden ready, then you can start thinking about some of the softer, more tender vegetables like tomatoes and peppers. We can start those inside right now.
Okay, and so, yep, that's what you're going to teach us right now.
Absolutely.
So kind of walk me through what we're going to do.
Certainly. Well, we've been seeding our own vegetables here since my grandfather started in '49, and a lot of the stuff and a lot of the ways I do it is the way my grandfather did it. You want to start with a nice light seed mix. I like to use just a nice bulk open tray for some of the smaller seeds. So
okay.
You could see like tomato seeds here aren't very large. Okay. And basically, you're just going to start with a nice level surface, scatter them on there. Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of temperature do these need to be at inside of a home?
Well, in your home, preferably a nice sunny spot, a south window, and as warm as possible. Most homes run 65 to 75 degrees. You can go as high as 80 degrees, but that's probably not feasible in the home. One thing is that today, you know, it's going to hit maybe 60, and if you have some seeds that are already up and started, get them outside. Let them have that natural sunshine so they don't get too stretched out and leggy.
Okay, and how much water do seeds require?
Well, seeds, you know, once you give them just a light mist, get that soil nice and damp, never too soggy. You want to just dampen the soil. If they're larger seeds, you can also use a little bit of a loose mix, cover them up, hold that moisture in a little bit. And then I recommend using maybe a clear tray. Maybe you have some plastic wrap at home. And when you have a sealed situation like this, it's not going to dry for about a week. But you can check it from time to time and make sure. Get your fingers in there. Don't be afraid to get dirty. And see, if you're watering these things daily because you think you need to, you could cause some problems like mold, mildew, some other funguses like that. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And coming up at 6:30, Eric's going to share even more tips and how you can move some of those bigger plants to different pots. Remember, all of this information and more will be on our website at UpNorthLive.com. Reporting live in Leelanau, Alyssa Heron, 7 and 4 News.
Thanks a lot, Alyssa. It's almost that time to start getting the flowers. And
yes.
Have you ever had a garden help mom plant flowers?
When I was younger, we did. And
yeah.
I always knew when that started, you know, summer is not that far along. And I think it's smart, too, to start like they're doing at Plant Masters, showing how you can start indoors. You know, the weather's not that great right now, but it's a good chance to start to get things going.
Plus, I'm here live at Plant Masters in Sutton's Bay talking about how you can get a kickstart to your gardening and start moving those seedlings to bigger pots. This and more coming up. You know, in the last half hour, we were talking about how people can get a kickstart to their gardening and start planting some seeds inside. So just a really quick overview, what are some of those seeds?
Yeah, so we got the garden cleaned up. We started some tomatoes and peppers inside. Perhaps you started them maybe a week or so ago, and they're starting to get some size to them. They cannot stay in these little plug trays for too long, so it's time to move them up to a bigger container.
Okay, so kind of show me how we would do that.
Okay, well, earlier we showed you how to just kind of, here, I'll let you take these.
Okay.
Kind of just put them in that bulk tray there. I like to use these peat strips here because these can go right in the garden. You just start a hole and pop one in there.
And you told me they're okay if they're laying down, right?
Absolutely. They're going to toughen up. They'll stand right up. So these, you can go with these. This will buy you another couple weeks because, you know, it could be June before it's safe to put these things out in the garden. You can go to a little bit bigger pot. That'll buy you a little more time. And again, any days where it's warm enough outside like it should be today, get them outside in that natural sunshine. Just be careful you don't give them too much sun.
Okay, and how much do you have to water plants like this?
Well, we started out with this nice potting soil here. It's a little dry. Give it a light drink of water. Indoor, I'm going to guess probably once a week on the water, but get your fingers in there and feel for moisture and make sure. Do not overwater. I'd rather see you underwater than overwater.
Absolutely. And what are some plants that people can actually start outside with these kinds of temperatures right now?
Well, we can do peas right now. You can see I've got some lettuce here. When you put this lettuce here in this bowl, they can stay right in that bowl, right outside. Lettuce can take a frost. Peas can take a frost. All of your cold crops, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, those kinds of things can go outside right now. And if you want a little touch of color, we've got some pretty pansies here too. Those can go outside too right now.
Okay. And then, any other tips on things that people might want to plant right now, but they should kind of hold off for?
Well, again, we're getting excited. The weather gets nice, and we just want to get out there in the garden. You can use dormant things. Maybe you might have some dormant strawberries, dormant blueberries, those kind of things. As long as the plants aren't too lush, you can put anything that's not real leafed out a whole lot right now outside. But let's focus on getting the jump start inside, get the tomatoes, peppers going, get some nice size to them, and you can fertilize them a little bit at this time too, keep them nice and green.
Okay, and really quick, we're actually going to be back at Plant Masters next Thursday, so I want you to tell me what we're going to be talking about.
We're going to talk about perennials and getting your perennial beds ready, and maybe you started some things outside a little too early and we have a surprise frost coming. We'll talk about that a little bit too.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Eric. And once again, all of this information and more will be on our website at UpNorthLive.com. Reporting live in Leelanau, Alyssa Heron, 7-4 News.